But I appreciate everybody being on. And as I mentioned, I think about 2 weeks ago, we talked about the importance of being organized, the difference it'll make in your business, especially for you guys that are getting started. You want to get off on a good foot. We talked about bookkeeping. I have one of my accountants on here to go over the importance of that. Miss Shanita Jones.
Yes, hi there. Hi, everyone.
Recording in progress.
Hello.
I'm loving you guys' spirit. You guys seem like a good group.
We keep it live. It's a Sunday, so
I
typically
love
chilled back, except for Caleb Nichols there.
I
He's looking
love
ready right now to get something done.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be real.
You guys are awesome. Okay, I'll be real quick so you guys can, continue your meeting. But hi, I'm Shanita. I'm the owner of Jones Accounting Tax Services. I've been working with Ty for a couple of years now, with his bookkeeping. I basically want to go over just the importance that he'd mentioned of getting on some sort of bookkeeping, some kind of accounting software. Of course, it does definitely help you get, organized, where your money's going, if there's things that you need to reevaluate, your financial health, let's say you want to get financing and you go to the bank and they ask you, hey, what's your net profit? You'll be able to answer that question and provide them with documentation if need be. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard someone ask a question. You guys stop me at any time, of course. And also it helps you with your taxes. I know, as Ty had mentioned, some of you guys are just getting started. I know just being in the business, sometimes when you don't keep up with your expenses throughout the year, when it's tax time, you could potentially be leaving a lot of money on the table because you forget that you spent something, in January or February when it's now December. You don't realize that. So there are a plethora of accounting softwares out there. I specifically work with QuickBooks. I like the ease of it. It's online. You can have multiple people use it if need be. Very user friendly. And of course, if any of you guys want to see it, just let me know. Also, too, I'm not sure how you guys' individual structure is set up in terms of if you are self-employed or if you've gotten a business that you've, incorporated or become an LLC. Those things too, you want to make sure that that's set up correctly as you begin so that you don't have those issues, at the end of things. In terms of price range, I know, small businesses, of course, that cash flow can be, pretty tight in the beginning. But we do have some, very inexpensive products. I know like for one of the basic, and I mean basic accounting software, you can get that for like $30 a month. And it's very easy. It basically has canned reports. The only thing about that particular system per se that I don't like is the interaction with the accountant. You wouldn't be able to do that very much. And then any type of personalization. Let's say, you wanted to add an account that's for, American Express. It basically doesn't let you do that. It's pretty canned in terms of, what you're able to do. But some of the other plans, of course, they're a little bit more than the $30, but it's, more user friendly. But I just want to, just be a resource for you guys. If if you're wondering, how is this going to affect your taxes? Are you going to be in a new tax bracket? Things like that. If you should be paying estimated taxes, all that type of stuff, comes into play. I know, you guys are geared into insurance and, the relationships that you have with your clients. Sometimes a lot of business owners, they freak out, when you're talking about taxes or mention the IRS or anything like that. A lot of people panic. So I just want to be a resource for you guys. If you have any questions, if you're wondering, about your unique situation, what your goals are in the future in terms of, your business or, even doing a fictitious name or, like a DBA. But I just, again, just want to be a resource for you guys. The softwares, they do come with payroll. That's definitely something that you want to make sure that you get yourself on. If you are going to be, operating as a specific business, you want to make sure that you are on a payroll, reasonable payroll, and you're also, withholding taxes and getting that, provide sent in to the IRS. Let's see, there was there was something else I just thought of, but it slipped my mind. But I just, again, just want to make sure that you guys, if you have any questions, of anything that's specifically relating to you, want you guys to know that, I'm here. If you have any questions, if you want to get started on any of the programs, we could do, some live training so you know what to do. If you're computer savvy and you want to do it yourself, you can save, a little bit more money. If you want, if you're the type of person that's like, I don't want to look at it, you handle it, I can do that for you as well. So just want to open up the floor if you guys have any questions or anything. Ty, I don't know if you have anything specific that you want me to address.
I can't stress how important it is, guys, to have some kind of bookkeeping software.
Right.
When I got started, I was trying to do it on a notebook. I ended up losing the notebook, and it ruined everything. I was trying to keep my mileage daily because at my prior job, I used to have a company car, so there was a little log. So I just took that from that business and brought it over here. I ended up losing the whole thing. Some of the programs that she's talking about, it can track mileage on there or you can input the mileage on there.
Yes.
I think QuickBooks Self-Employed, you swipe left and right for business and personal.
Correct.
I
Yeah.
mentioned to you guys about keeping your money separate, not
Separate.
mixing. Right.
Yeah. I did forget that.
Yeah,
when you're operating as a business, you want to make sure that you have a separate business account set up. If you commingle funds, you're exposing your own personal assets. Let's say, you have one main account, you're doing both business and personal out of, something happens, someone sues you, your personal assets are at stake. So you want to make sure, even if you set it up as a LLC or, a S Corp or anything like that, you still want to make sure that your business account stays your business. If you do, let's say you're in the store and you're like, crap, I only have my business card, and you have to buy something personal, that's fine, but just make sure you reimburse the company from your personal. Write yourself, a check to the business to reimburse it. You want to act like you want to operate as if your business is your business and you are an employee of that business. So you definitely want to make sure that you keep that in mind.
Exactly. We've talked about, salary. She mentioned paying yourself a reasonable wage. I had screenshot I ran payroll for myself on Friday. I was going to send you guys that so you see what it looks like. But there's, a ton of benefits that you need to be utilizing, especially when taxes are involved. We get paid 1099. These carriers aren't taking the taxes out. We're responsible to do that. So you have to be tweaking your expenses as well as your income. And this is one way to do that. This is an opportunity for everyone in here. Is it okay if I share your number in our GroupMe?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And you can put my email and my website on there, www.theaccountingdiva.com.
www.theaccountingdiva.com.
Yes.
If anybody's interested, please reach out to her. QuickBooks is what I've used, so I can attest to it. It's a lot easier now. There's no worries. When I first started, I ended up getting some IRS letters from not doing things right my first year. Got everything fixed, got with her, got on QuickBooks. Everything's automated. I got no letters. I have kids now. My wife and I are both employees of my business. I can run payroll. The taxes get paid every month. It's a lot simpler. So if you have any questions, please reach out to her. I don't want to hold her up. Maybe if anybody has a question, we can give her one. You guys have to unmute yourself if you have any. She had mentioned even, how to go ahead and, start officially file or incorporate yourself. If you need to do that, she can assist you with that as well.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Don't think we have any questions. So Ms. Shanita, I appreciate you being on.
Not a problem. for the
Yes.
invite.
Yeah,
Thank you.
anytime. I'll post your number and then I'll let them reach out to you if they need you.
Okay, sounds good. You guys have a good evening.
Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah, you
Welcome.
too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. So make sure you guys utilize that and utilize her. I have 3 accountants or two accountants that I work with. She helps me with software. My other one does my filings. I can print out anything. Like she said, you know, we're officially self-employed. If you're doing this full time and this is your only income, you need to be able to go buy a house, right? What do you have to, you know, your bank's going to want to see records and documentation. If you have nothing to show, you can't upgrade, right? You want to go buy a car. Paying for cash is great, but sometimes being able to leverage other people's money through loans is important. So I want everybody to be prepared and not get caught off guard with that, okay? Next, haven't posted this yet, but I'm gonna screen share here. Everybody knows how terrible I am with that, so bear with me. Let me know if you guys can see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see.
All right, so boom, there are our numbers for July, individually and as a team there at the bottom. We just completed the 4th week, not July, August. I'm a month behind in my head. We actually have a bonus week in this month. So there is a 5th week here to finish up strong. There at the top, we say, you know, minimally, everyone should be shooting for at least 1,000. And this is just production, reported production. AP, we all know that's annual premium. And we've got the number of apps, number of presentations you've done, door knocks or phone calls, approaches. That's a number of time where you make contact with a lead, and then you say your approach. So we do track that. And then there's your closing percentage and then average sale. I'm going to post this in the chat here in a second. But this is the numbers for the month so far. All right. Everybody's on there. I know Cecilia, CC, you're just getting started. You're onboarding the rookies. I think all of you guys have joined up with us in the last month. We have other people who are part-time. This is not anybody who's part-time on here. I think, is Wilney on? Wilney is, but still over 6,000. Angelica, I think you started at the beginning of the month officially, over 4,500. Shara, I think she's, are you on here? I think she said her system shut off. She's logging back in. All right. She's number 1 right now, over 16,000 AP for the month. So far, 4 weeks. So she's averaging just over 4K. We talk about on the presentations, right? Activity is really how you measure anything. You can see where you're weak at. You can see where you're strong at if you're tracking your numbers. We say 10 minimum a week, which is if you're working 5 days, if you're sitting and presenting a product 2 times, right? That's the bare minimum. You really want to be 3 to 5. If you're at 5 for 15 in a week, that's where you'll get financial freedom. 10 is really part-time, right? 10 will get you, 80, 90, maybe 100K in a year on average, depending on, let me let her in here. Go back. Yeah, 10 will get you close to 6 figures. You don't want to be under that. Unless you're Zach. Zach's over 1,000 a show, based on numbers. Apps and presentations is where it's at. We love multiple apps. In our business, we say expect anywhere from 15 to 20% to have attrition or fall off. There's ways you can help that, right? If you're doing a thorough needs analysis in the home, if you're leaving behind quote sheets and material, if you're saving your number in the client's phone, that way, they'll answer when you call. There are ways to get that number down, but unfortunately, things happen in these folks' lives. No matter how good of a presentation you do, some of the business, something will happen and they may have to cancel it. for a time period. But that's going to happen. So factor that in and expect that. So multiple apps, right? Not being comfortable with just having an AP goal, make it a presentation and activity goal, because throughout the course of a year, that'll keep you on pace. You want to build a habit of actually working, which we're going to get into a little bit. A lot of times people transition over from a 9-to-5 opportunity. They get here, they find out they can replace their income working a day or 2 days a week. You get lazy, boom, you get a chargeback or something. You don't have the habit to go out and get new business because you've just been living off of home runs, right? We don't want to do that. We want to think on the bigger level, bigger picture, in a way that you can ensure that you never have to worry about your lights being cut off or being a starving insurance agent. It's just buying leads and going to work. 3 to 5 presentations every time you leave the house, 2 minimum. If you got 20 leads for the day, minimum 15 to 20 routed and knocking, and then not, we all set up our schedule. So if you have mixed in a couple of days where you're working when people are actually home, you can't go home at 5:30 every day. Some people get off at 5 and they won't get home till 6. So if you're not knocking or out past that, you'll miss them. But this is our numbers. Anybody have any questions? We're just under 70,000 so far for the month. Our closing ratio is at 47%. In sales, they say that, you're great if you can do 33%. As a team, we're above that. I think all of our full-time agents there are well over 5 figures in production and closing above 40%. Our average sale right now, AP as a team, is 753. I think our approach to presentation, where anybody have a calculator? Let me do that math. So we've done 353 approaches and gotten 194 presentations. So we get in on average 55% of the time as a team. When we catch somebody home or on the phone, we're getting an opportunity to show price, right? And that's where we want it. We want it above, if you can say your approach, if you know that when you leave your house, if you catch somebody home, or if you're, when you make a phone call, if you have a 55% chance of being able to sit down or go through a presentation with somebody, that's how you want it. That's how you can, sustain in this business. Our script is our script. It's been proven to work. So, we don't need to change anything, just learn it. But tracking is important. That's number one. Mashar, if you're on, go ahead and unmute. Have a tip on tracking. Figure out how to end the screen share if you're not on. There's an app, guys. If you have Apple, download Tally, I believe it's called. Is that right, Jamila?
Yes, Tally.
You
Take your
just
phone off
Tally.
mute, Mashar.
Oh yeah, you got to unmute there, Mashar. I know with Android, there's a similar app called Counter, where you can set it up and you can keep track of your door approaches. The same way we just had that chart set up, you can set it up that way so that when you're actively out in the field, rather than keeping it on a scratch sheet of paper, you can just hit it on the Counter app. And at the end of the day, everybody knows we've got our activity sheets. You can go ahead and just fill out your numbers at the end of the day, which I believe everyone in here should have, that's contracted, should have an activity sheet. If you don't have one, let me know, but make sure that's filled out at the end of the day, or definitely an hour before the call in the mornings. That way, if anybody needs to miss, I can fill in for you. But quick note on tracking activity, the importance of it. Next, we got time management with Jamila.
Okay, guys. So I'm not going to take up too much time. All right. So I actually wanted to come on and hit a couple of points on time management and just working out here and making sure that you are effectively using your time and not being distracted, eliminating the distractions, right? So stick to your schedule. That's really, really big. So if you don't have a schedule, you need to make one or create one for yourself. Me personally, I try to be out of the house around 10 o'clock. I'm not gonna lie. I try to be out of the house like 9 something or at 10 to be at to a lead house by 10:15, 10:30, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I try to at least, well, I'm always out of the house by that point. You know what I'm saying? I've made it my point to stick to that. So when let's say if I have a doctor's appointment and it's like 11:30, I'm like, dang, I should be out in the field right now. You'll be itching to be like, dang, I need to get out there and get some money. You know what I'm saying? Stick to your schedule and your body will be acclimated to you getting out there and doing this. Trust me, you're going to be acclimated to it. And because you have to understand, if you were on somebody else's job, you would not be able to do any of this stuff that you would be doing on with free time. You would not be able to. You would be living their dream. You would be doing whatever they need you to do, going to lunch and break, going to use the bathroom, whenever they tell you to. But because that's not the case and you're your own boss, you're running your own business, you have to learn how to run your business effectively. So time it perfectly. Like me personally, I used to drink a lot of water when I was out in the field. I had to stop that because I had to go to the restroom a lot, and it always kept me leaving out of the field. I had to figure out, I got to figure out what I got to do as far as lunch. Pack a lunch, like I like to eat. If y'all get to know, I love to eat. Now, if I have time, I done made some good sales. I have a cooler in my car, and I also have a thermal bag. During my lunch period, now I'm not breaking off, during my lunch period after I made some sales, I have 30, 45 minutes that I devoted to lunch. I'll run to the grocery store, get my groceries so I don't have to go out late after work. So I'm managing my time effectively. I put my groceries in my little cooler, and I have when I mean big bag, I got a big cooler bag, and I actually have a real cooler in there. So nothing is getting spoiled or soiled, and I go back to work. If you have children, I have children. And you got to stick to your schedule. Yeah. So if you have children, I have 3 boys. I have 2 teenagers. Well, I have two teenagers and an adolescent. I have an 11-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 14-year-old, and a 16-year-old. They are busy. They are in all types of, activities. And if you have to break off and do that, I mean, I understand that, but you have to have, like, your kids can't call you to do certain things, or your family, your mom and everything can't call you to say, hey, can you pick this up? Can you do that? No, I can't. Because if I was sitting at my job, wherever you were working at prior to, I wouldn't be able to do it. So let's just move like exactly like we were doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not available until after I'm off of work. Family emergencies, those happen. When I talk about like appointments, schedule your appointments in the morning. Prime time is in the evening. So why schedule an appointment in the evening? Schedule your appointments early in the morning, as early as possible. Get them out the way. Get your shopping and stuff done early in the morning. Get all that out of the way. So after like 12 or 1 o'clock, whenever you're done, you're out there all the way through prime time. And you're out there making money throughout the entire time. And like plug in when times get hard. When things go wrong, plug in with your team. We are all here. We are all available. We all go through the same thing. So absolutely plug in with your people. We are all here to help you. I want to see you win. We're all going through the same issues and stresses. So if you're having a rough day and you're like, dang, man, I'm not getting in the house. I just been knocking, and ain't nobody letting me in. Call one of us. Like, hey, we're all out here working too. Well, we should be. This is all of our career. So I mean, lean on your people. So yeah, stick to your schedule, and yeah, like I said, calls come in, all of that, you got to revert those conversations. Like if things come in, I wouldn't even pull over to make the conversation. You don't have to do any of that. You just, hey, I can't talk right now. I'll talk to you later. Like put your phone on do not disturb if you got an Apple. Like you got to zone in to your work and stick to your schedule. That's it, guys.
Appreciate it. That was kind of a lot of great points packed into that, guys. Not sometimes, the gift is the freedom, and the curse can be the freedom if you let it. I've seen people freedom their way right out of this thing, right? Because they get consumed by their personal life. And your family can play a part in that too, because they may have never seen you have this much free time. And I think for a while when I was getting started, they just, because they didn't see me out and in houses, they just thought I was doing nothing. Like so when they call me, they're like, oh, well, you can go pick this up. You got time now. You can go grab that for me. Hey, can we go here? Can we go do that?
Exactly.
And you have to respect your schedule, and you also will have to get your family and loved ones to respect your schedule as well. If you're not respecting your schedule, don't expect anybody else to respect your schedule, to be honest. That's probably one of the most important. We talk about bookkeeping, but honestly, if you're not working your schedule consistency, don't even worry about bookkeeping. Don't even worry about having so much money you don't know how to manage it or track it, because your schedule will consume you, or your inability to schedule will consume you. Packing a lunch, huge. Some of y'all eat too much. Well, not eat too much, right? You might eat too much at lunch that you get lethargic. I'm one of those people. In fact, sometimes I feel like I'm owed. If I try not to eat unless I've done 2 presentations or I have an app for the day. And sometimes that'll be my reward, right? Is I won't eat until I get an app or 2 presentations. And then when I go eat, I mess around and order a sangria. Now I gotta wait an extra 35, 40 minutes because I'm a lightweight, and one little batch of wine will sit me down, right? Somebody just wrote something in there. Y'all don't know my life. But things like that, right, can throw your schedule off. So make sure you're being disciplined around your day. All right.
No, but that's big though. Let me just hit that. Don't eat a heavy meal when you're out. That's big. Do
That's
not.
right.
We all get the itis. Do not do that. You will get sleepy. Don't go get a nice big old rice and peas, cabbage, oxtails. Everybody may not eat that, but if you don't eat a real heavy meal while you're out to reward yourself, eat it at the end of the night. Get it on the way home.
You're gonna find yourself in the car like this. You're gonna be in the car.
Slumped. You hear me? Slumped.
Next thing you know, an hour done got by, your AC running hot, your gas done ran out. While you're in the field, make it count. And there's, also while you're in the field, you got to take advantage of your approaches, the opportunities that you get. There are some things, especially this geared to our rookies, some thoughts will come into your head, and it's your mind, right? It could be your mind playing tricks on you. Now, I will say, there is a worst case scenario for everything in life, right? But we can't assume that every time we're out that the worst is going to happen to us, that the clients are going to have 1,000 objections, so much that it paralyzes you, right? It keeps you from going out and seeing somebody, because at the end of the day, all of our leads are straightforward. They all say life insurance and final expense multiple times. So there is no reason to go up and maybe seem like we need to ask them to be interested. We are to assume so, right? Most people don't answer the phone, so we have to door knock or call. But I'm gonna throw it over to you, Zach. I'm probably talking too much. Marshall said we was gonna go to 9. All right, there we go. All right.
All right,
Zach, go ahead.
I'm gonna segue straight in with fear at the door. My topic is fear at the door and making your approaches count, right? But what is fear at the door? To be completely honest, that doesn't exist. There is, if you're just now getting started, you're coming from a job where you don't make much money, otherwise you wouldn't be here. What's scarier than that? Right? Like, if you're just getting started, you don't have any money, so you have nothing to lose. There is nothing that they can say to you at the door that should invoke fear, because yeah, no one likes being rejected, but all the rejection is, at worst case scenario, is the door slamming in your face, right? Which honestly, for me, when you get into this for quite a few months, you'll have so many leads that, like, you kind of hope for at least that, right? Like, you want the door slammed or you're presenting, because otherwise your map gets so full out and it gets overwhelming with how many leads you have. You want to weed out the no's, because it leads to the yeses. And he went over the numbers. This is a numbers game. You're going to get no's, but there's nothing scarier than being broke, Nothing that they're gonna do at the door is scarier than being broke and having no money. So you have nothing to lose. You only have a gain here, right? So when you pull up to a door and they open the door and they look a little bit confused, most likely it's nerves that's making you want to hesitate or turn around. But it's that's all it is. It's not fear, because it doesn't exist, right? So when they give you a hesitation, do exactly what Ty's preached to me since I started. Just go straight back to the script. Don't even acknowledge them. I myself am guilty, so I'll put myself in y'all's shoes for a minute so you guys can see that I do it too. I'll play around with people at the door from time to time. I shouldn't. It's a waste of time. Everything they're telling you is BS 90% of the time. Sometimes they will be sick. Sometimes it will be a bad time. But majority of the time, you came at a time where they weren't expecting you and they want you to go away. Okay, so go back into the script and put yourself out there. Most of the time, when I get a few rejections at the door, I usually sit down with those people, right? And I get a sale. So, the fear at the door, it doesn't exist. And I understand that that's going to take some time for you guys to get over if you're new, but there's nothing scarier than being broke. So when you pull up to that house, you owe it to yourself to go knock on the door and give it your best shot. Now, to segue, the next point, this is my only topic today, was the fear part and capitalizing on your approaches. I don't know if David's in here. I'm using this as an example because I showed him this yesterday and I showed Caleb this. I talk to almost everybody that locks eye contact with me when I'm at a house. If there's a neighbor outside washing the car, I'm talking to him. And it happened 3 times yesterday at the door when I had David out with me, right? We want as many lines in the water as possible. And even if someone isn't locking eyes with me, I'm knocking the T. Yesterday it was a duplex. There's only one door to knock. But all right, stop texting. You're gonna lose my train of thought here. There was a duplex, right? She didn't answer. So I wanted to show David how I knock the next door, right? And it's very simple. I'm knocking on their door and I'm acting lost. So sorry to pop up on you. I'm looking for Miss So-and-so. Does she live next door? Yeah, honey, she lives next door, but she's at work. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I appreciate you letting me know that, because I didn't know if I had the right address or not. But while I'm here, we sent these cards out to everyone in the neighborhood. We got about 80% of them back, but since I'm here, we didn't get yours back. Did you not get your card? And I'm confused, right? There's 2 things that are going to happen here. No, I didn't get my card. Boom, door slam. Or I didn't get my card and now we're engaging. I'm not saying I'm going to make that sale, but I'm leaving them a card. I'm leaving them a quote, or at the bare minimum, I'm putting a door hanger on their house. I'm not saying I've gotten 50% of those sales that I've done that at, but 10, 15 of them, a month, or like for percentage wise, it's a small percentage, but I'm putting lines in the water. Capitalize on your approach. If you drove all the way out there for $32 of a lead and they're not home, go try to get a free one. Capitalize on it. Fear doesn't exist. Work the neighbors. And if old lady's walking down the street in a mobile home park, pull over. I did it yesterday because David and Quinn didn't think I'd do it. Simple. It's just conversations, guys. But that's it. That's what I got.
Appreciate that.
I don't know. Can anybody hear me? I'm sorry. I had a lot of connection issues in the beginning. I apologize, guys. I just wanted to piggyback on what Zach said. And one of the things that really helped me a lot in the beginning when I started doing this, I was very, very fearful of rejection at the door and didn't know how to handle it, even though they had told me all of the things to say. It was a big hurdle for me to get over. One of the things that helped me get over it is I put in my mind that I was a delivery person, like a FedEx, a Amazon worker, and I was there knocking on the door to deliver whatever it is they requested. That kind of helped me a whole lot. So it wasn't like I had to, like he said, convince them of something, because this was something they filled out, they inquired about. I'm just here to just deliver what you wanted. So I always use a lot of terminology when I get to the door. Yeah, they sent me out to deliver the benefits that you requested here. And that took the pressure off of me. I didn't have to try to convince you to try to get something. I'm just a delivery guy or gal coming to the door, bringing you your stuff you wanted. So that kind of helped me a lot as far as breaking down that barrier of fear and rejection. So I didn't want to, I'm sorry, guys.
No, but Shara, you need to bring up with the delivery notice too, because you do that too. You taught me that when you leave, when they call, that's perfect too. If y'all are using delivery notices, Shara, tell them how you use your delivery notice when you do that.
Okay, so if I'm at the door and I'm knocking, there's no answer. I leave a delivery notice. I put their name, the time, the date I was there, and then on the very first line, I put package. Because in a sense, we are delivering or giving them a benefits package. It's not just life insurance, it's the dental card, the vision, the prescription. It comes as an entire package. So I just leave package on the first line. And then on the second line, I put down my Google phone number and then I leave it. And then when I get a call from them, what I do is say, yes, I'll have someone come out to redeliver that package to you. But it depends on what time of the day it is that they call. But I'll have someone come out and deliver that package to you tomorrow between 12 and 2. Will you be available between 12 and 2 tomorrow? They'd be like, well, what is it about? I act as if I'm a dispatch person. I'm not sure, but I can have a person come out and redeliver that to you. And then they say, okay, I probably won't be home until 12 or 2. Can they come around 4? Sure, they can. I'll put you down for 4 o'clock and they'll be out to redeliver that for you. And so I look at that as a preset. Now I know I've already confirmed with them that they're going to be home at a certain time. And that's that. I've gotten a lot of sales doing that. So yeah, when they call back, act as dispatch and then reset the appointment to come back out and deliver.
Guys,
Now,
that
you
works.
said on the first line, you're just writing package where it says address to.
Oh no, address to is going to be the person's name.
Mm-hmm.
See, but at the bottom of the delivery notice, there's 2 lines. It says dispatch number and item number. I think it's where it says item number is where I put the package, and then on the bottom number I put my Google phone number.
Those are the stickers time.
And I like and definitely use the Google number because when they call, it has them record their name. So when they do call you back, you already knowing beforehand who this is. And so when you answer, you can say, hi, I typically answer like this: North American Senior Benefits, did you receive a yellow delivery notice? And they say, yes, I did. Okay, wonderful. We'll have someone come back out between the hours of 3 and 5 tomorrow. Or if it's early in the day, I'll say between 4 to 6 this evening. Will you be available?
That's strong.
Yeah. So I've gotten a lot of sales that way. And it's
we just want them home when we knock. So
you say what?
I said, and we just want them. We just want to know when they'll be there. I think
exactly.
A lot of the battle is when we say making sure people are home or catching people are home. If you know when they're going to be home, guys, that's all we need. And if you're paying somebody to set presets for you, they can't guarantee that you're going to get in when you get there. We just need them to be home. Is what I say. I just need them to be there. You don't have to do nothing extra. Same way you're calling, they call you back from a delivery notice. We just need a time that they're going to be there. You don't have to get into going over this and that. Like Marshall said, be the dispatch person. That's huge.
Yeah.
Anything else for anybody? That's our structure. Don't want to keep you guys too long. It's Sunday night, big Mondays tomorrow. We will be doing an incentive, as Jamila calls it.
Yay!
We had a lot. Fear. What'd you say, Zach? The true fear is being broke. You're muted. I saw your lips start to move.
There's nothing scarier than being broke, is what
right in my left ventricular, like somewhere in here. Said that, like right on it.
That to the end, because I was going. You tripped me up a bit. It made me like you. Anyway, yes, there's nothing scarier than being broke, guys. Just knock the door. Find out what happens. You get in there and close 3 or 4, especially if there's 4 cars in the drive. When I see that, Well, I want all of them. I want all of them.
There you go. Any questions, anybody? If it's gonna be too long, then text your manager, but if not, I appreciate everybody being on. I'll put Shanita's number in the chat here in a second. Have a huge week. Spend some time after we get off, getting your leads routed, making sure you're prepared. The separation is in the preparation, guys. Make sure you put the time in. Appreciate you guys. Have a good evening.
Y'all be
Adios.
safe. Hurricane too. Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
You guys.
All right, bye.